This video is going to be the third and last video of our calculator application. So previously what we did is we implemented a calculator application that is capable of adding two numbers. Now keep in mind this is a simple calculator application. The only thing it's going to do is it's going to add two numbers, and then I did not care about the logic of taking the result and performing whatever the next operation on that result. You can go ahead and do that if you would like to. My intention with this is to allow you to see how we can use one action performed method to control all of those components in our user interface. So if I say 10 plus 5 and I say equal, nothing is happening because I did not activate this. If I click this back again, it's going to add it because some calculators work like this. If you click the button back again, it's going to activate the equal. Now I need to activate my equal button to be able to use it. So what I did is I went ahead and added this string here, string operation. So my operation is going to tell me which method should I call when I click my equal button, because it's going to save whatever operation I chose in the previous step. So if we scroll down, what we did last time is we implemented the actions for different buttons. So we implemented the buttons for the numbers, and we implemented the dot, and then we implemented the delete. Now I set the delete to 0, and I can just set it to anything to just have an empty display field. Now we already worked with this. If the if e dot get source, which is the event dot get source, is equal to the plus button, we implemented this part. So this is the part that I added in this part of the video. So I said, okay, when I click the plus button, make the operation add. So just make this string equal to add, and the rest is the same. I went ahead and implemented the same logic for subtraction. So I said if it's minus button, then the operation is going to be subtract. And then I went ahead and did the same thing for the multiplication, and again I did the same thing for the division as well. Now I implemented all methods, which is, we implemented this together last time. So I went ahead and copied the same thing, but now it's doing a subtraction, did the same thing for multiplication. And for the division, I added one more thing. It's going to check if y is 0 or not. If it's 0, it's going to display this message on the display field. Otherwise, it's going to perform our division. Now, the last thing that I need to do is to activate my equal button. So I went ahead and wrote these lines, which is basically the skeleton of our if statement. So I need to check if this is my equal button being pressed or clicked. Now if it's the case of the first number, so if I only entered one number, I don't need to perform any operation. So I will just say display field that dot set text to whatever number I'm having on the display. Remember we had the number called to parse, and this is the string we wanted to parse. So this is what I will keep in my display. So if I click the equal button and I only entered one number, nothing is gonna change. The number is just going to keep displayed there. So I can just say if not first, then do the same, but I just intentionally did this to make it more obvious on what I'm doing. Now the else part says, so this says if this is the second number. So if this is the second number, what I need to do is I need to check the operation. So I'll say if operation dot equals so if it's add, Then I need to add my numbers. I need to parse the first number for x, and I need to get my second number. So where is my second number gonna be? So I need to parse something for the second number, but I don't need to parse the label. It's already on my display. So I can just parse what is on my display, and every time I enter something, I'm saving it into this string, which is to parse. So whatever I have on my display, I'm gonna parse that, and then I will just go ahead and call my add method and supply my add method with x and y. After this, I will have another else if statement, and in my else if statement, this is what's going to happen in there, but this time this is going to be if the operation is subtract, then I will call my sub method on x and y, and I will keep doing the same. So I'll just say else if my operation is multiply, then I will call my multiplication method, and finally I can just say else. I don't need an if here, so I can just say else, call my division method, because this is the only thing that's remaining in here. Now let me run this to test it out. Now let me give it a value, let's say 10. Nothing changes when I hit the equal sign, and this is how I intended it to be. I want to add 10 to 16, and now it's 26. Now my equal button works fine, and this concludes it for the calculator application. Now keep in mind that, as I said, this is not a perfect logic calculator, so it is going to only perform one operation. We can include a reset button here that is going to reset everything, or if you want to make it more like a calculator, what you need to do is to save the last thing, which is this, save it in a variable, and perform the upcoming operations on this one. I don't want to make this tutorial more complicated, and that is why I did not include it, because the intention is not to know the logic behind the calculator, but the intention of this tutorial is to enable you to have one method for your action listener that is going to be able to capture all of those buttons.